Welcome everyone. Before I get into the details of my research, I would first like to narrate a small story that happened to me quite a while ago. I am from South India and I have always been passionate about dance, always shown interest in dance right from the time I was a 4-year-old kid. But I officially started to train in dance. I trained in the classical dance form called Bharatanatyam when I was in my year 6 of my primary school. So there came a time when it had been about 4 to 5 months since I started training, and there was a school performance, a dance performance, for which I had to be away for these Bharatanatyam classes for a while. So I had bunked these classes, and then after the school performance, I came to my dance teacher, and then I was expecting to be told off for not informing her of my absence. But instead, she said, "Oh, okay, so you had the school performance, that's really good. Learning one genre of dance, it'll help you do well in other performances as well." At that time, I was just relieved, oh, phew, I got away. But now, 15 years later, I now realize the wisdom behind her words. Indeed, learning one genre of dance does help learning other genres of dance, but at the same time, it has a multitude of benefits. Dance has numerous physical, mental, educational, cognitive benefits. Studies have shown this, and it also is one of the few forms of physical activity that is physically engaging, but at the same time, it is aesthetic in nature. It has various benefits as shown here. And at the same time, when I was referring to the New Zealand Health and Physical Education curriculum, I realized that the concept of haura, or well-being, it aligns very beautifully with the benefits of dance. So if school children are exposed to dance, they are not only getting all these multitude of benefits, they are also, in a way, enhancing their well-being as well. Currently, dance in the New Zealand school curriculum is an optional art form. It was introduced into the arts curriculum in the year 2001. Before that, it was part of the health and physical education curriculum. So when it was introduced into the arts curriculum, in order to help teachers or the generalist teachers to understand that dance can be accommodated, straightforward, and it can be introduced in the everyday classroom teaching, a program called the Dancing the Long White Cloud was introduced. Now this program, the main intention behind this, as I said before, was to educate generalist teachers that dance can be an effective pedagogical tool to enhance children's learning in the classroom and outside of the classroom as well. The program closed down due to various reasons, but now it is still implemented in certain primary schools. Now, I can probably say that America is leading the way in integrating dance or kinesthetic learning into everyday classroom teaching. There have been various programs in America. One such program is the VAPA, Visual and Performing Arts program. Another one is the Opening the Mind Through the Arts program. Now, over here, what happens is an art specialist or an integration specialist, she goes into schools and she sits down with the generalist teacher, and then they collaborate and they come up with a lesson plan that can enhance the students' learning while at the same time meeting the criteria of that particular state syllabus or of that particular curriculum. And in the VAPA, Visual and Performing Arts curriculum, the arts integration specialist, they have a group meeting, a staff meeting, where all the other teachers, they collaborate and then they discuss how arts could be integrated. And when I mean arts here, in this particular program, I'm referring to not just dance, I'm referring to arts, drama, and visual and performing arts as these teachers, they're implementing there. Whereas my study, it is focusing only on dance. So when I was going through the New Zealand curriculum, the primary curriculum especially, I noticed that the benefits of dance education, the principles of dance education, they align very beautifully with the pedagogical principles outlined in the New Zealand curriculum. So in a way, if teachers or if New Zealand primary school teachers implement dance teaching into their everyday classroom teaching, they are not only boosting their students' performance or boosting the students' learning, they are also meeting the criteria outlined in the New Zealand curriculum. Now, there are research that has taken place that has says that if dance education is implemented in the New Zealand in any curriculum, sorry, not just New Zealand curriculum, in any curriculum, then it can enhance students' learning. There was one such study that I came across where children of about the age of 6 to 7, they were divided into two groups. One group, they were given activities where maths was integrated into their, maths and dance was integrated. And then the other group, they just had the usual blackboard traditional learning style. And results showed that the group A, the one that had the maths and dance, they had better understanding and better learning of maths because they were able to move, they were able to connect what they did practically with the one that they're actually studying. So given this comes to the schema of my current study. Looking at the lack of literature on the holistic benefits of dance, I aim to see what is the impact of dance. Now, there have been several studies saying that there are physical, there are well-being benefits, there are academic performance benefits, but as a single study and looking at the holistic benefits, it hasn't taken place. So this is where I would like to investigate. Now, I also realized that in the literature, it has shown that teachers, they are not confident in integrating dance. One of the reasons would be because they were not taught in that way when they were in primary school, or because there isn't sufficient professional learning development that goes on. So this, in a way, would be a professional learning development for the teachers as well. So here, aim 3 would be to see what the teachers felt about the program, and how could this be implemented in their everyday teaching. Now that leads to my research problem. So in order to see the research problem, I am determining the feasibility and applicability of an embedded dance program in the primary school curriculum, and I'm trying to understand the impact of dance on school children. So this would be, this pretty much summarizes what I intend to do. Over the course of a year, starting from the term 4 of this academic year, I would like to ask a few kids and this classroom teachers to be part of the dance program. Now, this data will be collected across 4 schools, and each school will be divided into a control group and an experimental group. The experimental group would be the lucky ones, who would be getting the dance program. And so it's not just the children, but the class teacher as well, who would be asked to be part of the dance program. Now, as I said before, it will be starting in term 4 of this year, and every term I'll be having one school that will be part of the dance sessions. So school children will be about 7 to 9 years of age. So as I said, every school will be divided into control and experimental group. And before the dance program or before the intervention, I'll be asking the kids to take numerous questionnaires. Now, these questionnaires will be compared between the control group and experimental group. And after the dance program, after that 8-week period of the dance program, I'll be comparing the results of the 2 control and experimental group to see what were the benefits. So these will be the quantitative measures that I'll be using, and I'll be using a mixed methods design in my study. So in order to understand the academic performance, I'll be using the AS tool. or assessing well-being and education for understanding the well-being of the benefits on well-being of the kids. And actigraph. Actigraph is to measure the physical activity to see how the dance program affected the physical activity of the kids. So the qualitative measures here will be for the experimental group or the dance program students only, because I want to see how they felt about the dance program. So I'll be asking about 5 to 6 kids of that dance group to take part in interviews where I'll be asking questions, how they felt about the dance program, what they liked about it the best, whether it was fun or not, whether it was cool or not, that kind of stuff. And the teachers, the teacher who took part in the dance program, the class teacher, she or he will be interviewed as well. And I will be part of the dance sessions as well. These dance sessions will be carried out by a trained dance educator who is well versed in dance education in schools. So as a researcher, I'll be present in every dance session, and I'll be making active notes to see what were the daily achievements of the kids, what happened the best of that day, what could have been improved for the next session, etc. So the data analysis, as a mixed methods design, I'll be having different sets of data, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative will be analyzed through one-way ANCOVA through SPSS, and qualitative will be through thematic analysis through NVivo software. So this research will hopefully open the doors for many avenues. First of all, as a quantitative study, I'll be understanding what were the benefits of the dance program on the physical activity, on the well-being, on their academic performance as well. I would like to see what the teachers felt about the dance program, what are the barriers associated with integrating such an embedded form of learning. What could be the barriers associated in a school environment especially. And this research will also, you could also say, pave way for further research as well to see how it could be implemented in the long term, to see the sustenance of such dance programs in other schools as well. These are my references. And I would like to conclude with a quote. We can all dance. This is a quote from a children's book. We can all dance, we just need to find the right rhythm and music. Thank you.
Well within time, so that's good. Does anybody have any questions for Geeta?
Much. I'm just wondering why you chose the age group of 7 to 9-year-olds?
Because we felt that at that age, the children are very malleable. They are, when we were thinking about the research design, we were thinking about having it separate for boys and girls. And then we realized because of various logistics involved with research, it would be better to have it as a co-ed program, and at that age they wouldn't still have got that uncomfortable feeling. So we thought that would be an appropriate age, and even the dance educator, she said that that's the appropriate age, 7 to 9 years old, and that's sort of, I think that in a way it's laying the base for their further education as well.
I'm just wondering about your control group.
Mm-hmm.
Will they have a class that is different from their ordinary curriculum and a class where you'll be there observing as well?
No. So this would be an in-class program. So if I'm going to a school, there will be one class, let's just say Section A, who will be a part of the dance program, and Section B will not be part of the dance program, but they will just be evaluated. They will be, I will ask them to take the academic performance questionnaire, well-being and actigraph, but they will be just going on with their regular classroom teaching.
Had you considered going and observing them for some time, just in terms of, knowing that, the kids may well perform knowing that there's somebody different than you coming to watch them. Whether that has an impact and whether as a control group that would be worth considering.
Yeah, we did. I did consider that, and when I was designing my research, I was thinking of having a comparative qualitative study. Like I'm comparing the quantitative. Why not compare the qualitative as well? I was thinking about that, but then I realized, as a researcher, I might be biased. If I go in there and I sit in a class, then I just observe, I might think that Charles, or sorry, not Charles, that's the first name that that came to my mind. Andrew. Andrew was just not performing today, or I might be biased myself. And I was also reading about that, and I was discussing about that with my supervisors, and then they said that observation comes with practice, and at this stage, especially for the control group, it might not be a good idea. So.
Yeah. I was thinking more about the impact of you being there on them and their performance rather than you on your observation. You know, all of us tend to do better when we know we're being watched or observed. And you know how you'll take that into account in the results.
Because if I'm there to observe the class, the control group participants, there won't be anything to observe anyway, because they will be just carrying on with their daily learning. If I'm observing, I'll be observing the dance program kids. So I think that they might feel hesitant the first or two sessions because I'm a new person to them, but then over a period of time, that they might just what do you say, that uncomfortable feeling might go away over the sessions that I conduct.
I have a quick question about how you decide your dance educator. Like, is there a range of them to choose from, and how do you tell whether one's a good dance educator or not? Because surely that would have a huge effect on your study.
Yes, that's a good question. So that was one of the many challenges that I faced. But the dance educator that I intend to ask for help is a student of AUT, and AUT was offering the Bachelor of Dance. So she she was a student of my co-supervisor as well. And my co-supervisor said that the syllabus of the dance education, of the Bachelor of Dance that was offered here, it was not purely performing arts or not purely visual arts. It was a mixture of education. It was that program was intended to see how dance could be helpful in everyday activities in the education sector and various sectors as well. So yes, when we were deciding about who would be conducting the dance sessions, we thought that she might be a good option, and I went and observed one of the sessions that she does. She teaches at school, and I went there and I liked the way how she was outgoing, how she was engaging with the kids, and she wasn't bossy. She wasn't saying do this, just do as I say. It was more of a pedagogical approach, and one of the areas that I would like to see in my research is see how the pedagogy changes from teacher-centered do as I say to the kids saying, okay, I understood. I can now take the power in my hands. I can now experiment with the moves.
Any other questions?
Sorry,
Just a brief.
Thank you very much. You know, I love anything to do with dance, and I believe it's a big advocate. Just one thing is, when you talk about dance, maybe I missed it at the beginning. What dance forms are you talking about? Different genres. Why not something like gymnastics? Where I remember growing up when I had gymnastics in school, it was with music as well and movement. So where's the difference in that?
Yep. That was another question that I had when I was framing my research design. How is this going to be different from any kind of aerobics or gymnastics? So the main thing here is the pedagogical approach here, where I'll be trying to see how kids, how the social interaction would be between kids, how they take power onto themselves, how they will be able to see the shift in the learning approach. So whereas in gymnastics and aerobics, it is a fantastic form of physical activity. Children are engaged. They have increased blood circulation and all that. But there is no pedagogical approach. There is no self-learning. There is no interactive learning. There is no reciprocal learning. So.
Well, we need to call it quits there. So thank you very much, Geeta, for another wonderful presentation. Here's a little thank you from the UPC and other such people for you. You're wonderful.
Thank you.